The Guardians of the Globe. This superhero team from Robert Kirkman's Invincible is quite possibly one of the most confusing group of heroes I've ever read about. This video will go over the good, the bad, and the worst of the Guardians of the Globe. I will be separating this into 4 key segments. First segment is just before Omni-Man massacred the Guardians. The second segment is just after Omni-Man massacred the Guardians, now led by Robot. The third segment is after the Viltrumite War, and this and the last section are purely just the comics as it hasn't been adapted into television yet. And the fourth and final segment will be the main Guardians who helped overthrow Rudy in his dictatorship over Earth. Disclaimer, obvious spoilers for Invincible, both the show and the comic. Alright, the first team. So, the original lineup for the Guardians of the Globe was the Immortal, who is the ancient, bearded leader of the team, who possesses superhuman strength, flight, and near invulnerability. He got his abilities from some sort of cosmic power during his time as an ancient Celtic warrior. He canonically also was Abraham Lincoln. War Woman, an Amazonian-style warrior with immense strength, combat skills, and a magical war club. She belongs to a race of beings from the, quote, other realms, meaning her immense strength, flight, and millennia-long lifespan are standard traits of her species' unique physiology. Darkwing, a gadget-wielding nocturnal vigilante similar to Batman. Actually, he is just Batman. From the Gotham ripoff of Midnight City to his old sidekick, Nightboy, who's just a Robin clone. Also, that name is terrible. Nightboy? Okay. Red Rush is a highly skilled Russian speedster who perceives time in slow motion. The origin of his powers is unsure, but he's easily my favorite. Martian Man, an extraterrestrial shapeshifter from Mars who can stretch and alter his density and fly sometimes. That's literally it. There's no other information about him. Aquarius, the aquatic king of Atlantis who possesses super strength, the ability to control water. Probably the most useless on the team. Green Ghost, a green-skinned hero with the ability to fly and phase through solid objects. By swallowing a small jade-colored stone passed down from a previous host, his body would instantly transform into a green superhero. Vomiting the stone up would immediately turn him human again. Now, that lineup is partially incomplete. In the show, the first episode, where the Guardians of the Globe save the White House, Green Ghost is not Green Ghost, but is actually Green Ghost 2. It's the same hero, but a different person. Kind of like Spider-Man. It's the exact same powers, but it's not really that interesting. Alright, if you haven't noticed already, these characters all seem pretty familiar, right? It's just the Justice League. I mean, come on. There's not a speck of originality from almost all of them. War Woman is just Wonder Woman. Aquarius is just Aquaman. Red Rush is just The Flash or Quicksilver. Martian Man is literally just Martian Manhunter, but without most of his powers and the word hunter. Do not get me started on Darkwing. He's just average intelligence, diet Batman. Alright, the side tangent aside, does this team of Guardians work well together? Extremely so. We can see this in the fight towards the Lizard League in the Adam Eve special. They work together very well, often keeping opponents down and stranded by isolating them and sort of playing pass with them. But the real main fight that we see their true power in is when the Muller twins attack on the White House. In this fight, we can truly see the roles that each member brings to the team. Red Rush, Darkwing, and Green Ghost 2. Support. with quickly and effectively doing the most in clearing civilians. Martian Man and Aquarius. Rescuer / obstacle, with them both securing the White House and searching it after knocking down one of the Maulers, acting as a distraction. And finally, War Woman and the Immortal. Heavy hitters. They kept the Maulers busy, dealing a little bit of damage while the others rescued and evacuated civilians. Once the evacuation was complete, they effectively took the Mauler twins down extremely quickly, with everybody getting good hits in, even Omni-Man, who had just recently saved Darkwing from sudden death. All of their characters, even if they aren't original in the slightest, were pretty enjoyable to see interact with each other. But what happened the same week as a young Mark Grayson finally developed his Viltrumite powers? Something unspeakable should happen. Omni-Man murdering the Guardians of the Globe. Once Omni-Man emerges from the shadows and makes the first move, it all goes to shit. The first to go is Red Rush, getting his skull red crushed. Then Darkwing, being slammed into the ground. Then Green Ghost, with a hole through her head. Next, Aquarius, getting his head smashed off by War Woman's mace. Next, Martian Man, with his core or heart or whatever being ripped off while holding Omni-Man in place. Now War Woman, with her seeing a full 360-degree view of the situation. Yeah. And finally, the Immortal, being laid to rest via chop to the neck. But even in their final moments, they were still able to greatly injure Omni-Man, giving him a concussion. Which, is better than the comics, man. They got one page and they were all gone. I give the original Guardians of the Globe a solid B+ on the ranking scale, on account of them working very well together and exhibiting great effectiveness, but lacking in some parts, like having Darkwing and Aquarius on the team and being demolished by Omni-Man. But the world still needs heroes. And the director of the Global Defense Agency, Cecil Stedman, gives Robot of the Team the job of assembling them after he was effective in stopping an alien invasion. By the end of the team tryouts, the new team of Guardians, led by Robot, is as follows. Black Samson, a Guardians OG with a superpowered combat suit after losing his own powers. Duplicate, a skilled combatant who can, as her name implies, duplicate herself. Shrinking Ray, with the ability to control her size, although she cannot grow larger than her base height. Monster Girl, a woman named Amanda in her mid-20s, cursed by her superpowers. She can turn into a giant green monster, but every time she does, she gets a week younger. Rexplode, a man with the ability to molecularly accelerate non-living objects, charging them so they explode. And Robot, a robot with high IQ and gadgets and stuff. His name is just Robot, that's so lame. This team is a mixed bag. On one hand, they have decent power and decent-er leadership, but on the other hand, they're dysfunctional, mostly because of Rexplode. But there are other issues, like overall disrespect towards authority, lack of awareness in battle, leaving personal issues unsolved, and not sticking to plan. There are a collection of issues with singular people in the team, but none like Robot partnering with the Mauler twins. With their knowledge and expertise of tissue growth and DNA replication, Robot partners up with them to build a body using DNA stolen from Rexplode, mostly for the sole purpose of being with Monster Girl romantically. This dude is creepy as hell. Okay, we're gonna go to their first major fight. The Guardians and Invincible versus Machine Head. After a fight, and let's be honest, it wasn't really a fight, where Mark was getting his ass handed to him, the Guardians show up to the penthouse of notorious criminal Machine Head, and a group of superpowered hired goons rocking Mark and Titan. A criminal, but a good one. He's a difficult character. At first, they display decent strength and effectiveness, although they aren't really working together. But it doesn't take long for most of them to get knocked down, and for two of them, Monster Girl and Black Samson, along with Invincible, to be severely injured. Once the rest are back up on their feet, they show their true effectiveness in working together, like when they took down Furnace during this fight, with Rex charging up some fridge magnets and Kate sticking said magnets onto Furnace. But even with this newfound teamwork, they still couldn't have prevented Monster Girl and Black Samson's serious injuries. This scene almost makes me feel bad for Robot, but what we know about him at this point, he's still a creepy piece of shit. Nothing much happens between the fight with Machine Head in Season 2. Except, of course, the Immortal getting revived by the Mahler twins, attempting to control him using a special collar that Robot gave them in exchange for a body. But the schematics were bad, causing him to fly out of the warehouse in a furious rage, fight Omni-Man, and die again. But once the Immortal gets revived, this time by the Global Defense Agency, Cecil, the director, makes him head of the team, in addition to adding a new member, Bulletproof. And in Rex's words,
"It's just a whole afternoon of new friends."
Later on, once they've been through multiple missions, and with new information with a new member, Shapesmith, who, by the way, is not sneaky or clever in the slightest. They all knew he was from Mars, and he thinks he fooled everyone. The Sequids, a group of symbiotic alien squid brain things, are on their way to Earth, and they have a plan to stop them. With the help of Invincible, a small group of the team can go up to the ship, and they are able to stop the Sequids using Robot's technology. But while the other Guardians are up in space, the remaining members of the team fight the Lizard League. Shrinking Ray and Rexplode are horrifically injured, while Duplicate is resumed dead. I'm gonna spoil this for you. Rex and Ray make full recoveries and start dating. And during all of this, Kate had a hidden Zero duplicate and hid out with the Immortal in Alaska because they started dating as well, despite their horrific age gap. Ugh. So, overall, this team of Guardians did alright. I give them a C- for overall team effectiveness and efficiency lacking in most battles. There's a lot of stuff that happens in between the battle against the Sequids in space, including Rexplode sacrificing himself during the Invincible War, taking down the Big Lenses version of Mark, and the Sequids' invasion of Earth. But that's pretty much it. So, let's take a look at the Guardians of the Globe right after the Deep Space Viltrumite War. Surely they've improved so much and added so much more value to the team. What the hell is this? This is the sorriest group of heroes I've ever bared witness to. Look at this lineup. We've got familiar faces like Bulletproof, Monster Girl, and Robot, but then we've got these randoms? Kaboomerang, Lead Bruiser, Knockout, and Japan Droid? For context, they were dispatched by Cecil to space to stop whatever was going on, which meant going after Thrag. This is the equivalent to actual ants up against an anteater. And Bulletproof's goofy ass talking about some, "Who are you?" This loser Bulletproof really thinks he's some big shot or something. These clowns really think they're all that, and it's genuinely embarrassing. They are useless, so they get a super F. After this whole thing, the Fraudians of the globe don't show up until issue 107, where they band together and help take down Doc Seismic. Yeah, Doc Seismic, real threat. Holy shit, that transition was so cool. Can we do that again?
No,
Why not?
because I said so.
Aww. Anyway, we don't see the Guardians for a whole 30 plus issues until issue 140, where the Guardians, Invincible, Adam Eve, the Immortal and his kids, Mary and Abraham, the new Viltrumite army, and the GOAT, Best Tiger, face off against Rudy and his army of robots, plus the old Viltrumite army because Rudy kidnapped their kids or something. They actually managed to beat Rudy, and Mark slices through him with zero hesitation and with zero remorse. Which is fair, the man did basically colonize and dictate the entire planet overnight, but come on, man. At least pretend you care that you just made a your hand-sized hole in this guy's chest. After this, Mark makes the Immortal supreme leader of Earth, alongside Rudy's brain or something? I don't really know. After this whole thing, they get 6 Jaronas out of 8. Nice work, team. And that about wraps up the history of the Guardians of the Globe. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know down below. Also let me know if I should continue this type of video. Thanks for watching!